Once upon a time, in a land not very far away, a banquet was thrown for all the good people in the town. People from all walks of life were there, and they all sat at a beautiful long mahogany table. People, being what they are, sat with others who were much like themselves. At one end sat all the movers and shakers, managers, financiers, captains of industry, you know the sort. At the other end sat all the workers and doers, factory workers, builders, teachers, nurses, etc., etc. You get the idea. And in the middle of the table were the people we will call the middlers. Well, somebody said grace and the waiters began to bring food and placed it on the table for people to help themselves. They were all having a marvellous time, taking into the most wonderful fare. Roast fowl of every kind, hams, joints of beef, pork and lamb, all manner of vegetables, common and some rather exotic, and the wines were exquisite. There was plenty of food, and it just kept coming. Now the movers and shakers were very, very hungry, and they took far more than all the others. No one noticed, however, because there was, as I said, plenty of food, and it just kept coming. They started sneaking it into handbags and jacket pockets for later consumption. Again, no one noticed because there was plenty. Then they started to pass it out an open window for their chauffeurs to fill the car boots, and still no one noticed. Whilst on the way to a comfort break, one of the movers spotted a maintenance cupboard where he found a small wood saw. He brought it back to the table, and under the pretext of retrieving a dropped spoon, clambered under the table and sawed 2 inches off the 2 table legs his end. The resulting slope meant that with a little nudging, all the platters and bottles and baskets gradually slid away from the workers and doers. One of them noticed. "Oi, oi, oi," he said, confused and bewildered about what he had seen. "We're losing out here. It's all sliding up your end. What's going on?" Well, after a rather heated discussion, the movers and shakers realised they would have to make some kind of gesture. So their spokesman stood up, and after complaining about this being just the politics of greed and that the workers and doers should simply try harder, and anyway it was all the foreigners that had really taken the food, said, "We want to level up for the people at the other end, so we shall forthwith send down not just 1 bread roll for every person, but we shall send 2. This delighted all the other movers and shakers, who were on to a rather good thing. "However," he continued, "we want to go further, so a bottle of lemonade for every 4 people and custard for everyone." Well, all the movers and shakers thought this was marvellous. They all cheered and whooped with delight. Someone even punched the air. After all the hullabaloo had died down, the workers and doers grudgingly accepted this arrangement and continued with the meal, such as it was. What else could they do? After all, the middlers sided with the movers and shakers, as they genuinely believed they might at some point find themselves at the lower end, where everything would come their way. Now, everyone noticed. No one could change it. No one cared. The moral of this story is, redistribution is fine, but a level table is so much better.